guys, it's Julia. So today's video is going to be my favorites of 2017. I've been so excited to film this video. I've just been building up products to put in this video, and these are my absolute favorite products of the entire year. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I want to get right into it because I feel like it's going to be one of the longest videos on my channel, but let's get right into the video. Before that, I want to just say, you guys are my favorite of the year. Thank you so much for showing so much support and love to this channel. I took a bit of courage to start this channel. It was in May, I think, that I started this channel, and it has grown. Granted, I'm still a pretty small channel. We have like 300 subscribers when I'm making this video, but still that number means a ton to me. That's 300 people who have seen my videos and decided, hey, I want to see what that girl has to show. So that really means a lot to me. Thank you so much to everyone who has followed me on YouTube here. Thank you to everyone who has followed my beauty page on Instagram. This year has been a really tough one for me personally. In my personal life, I've just had so many heartbreaks, and it's been a rough year, but you guys have made it amazing. It's been a rough year in my personal life, but I feel like here I've got to grow and blossom and evolve and just share my creativity, and that means a lot to me. So thank you guys so much for supporting this channel in 2017, and I hope you guys will stick around for the new year. Before I get sad and everything, let's just get right into my 2017 favorites. Starting with my number one favorite product of the entire year, the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette. You guys have heard me talk about this endlessly on this channel, and I love it so much. You guys know this. Obviously, this is a very colorful palette, and it has made its way into my heart this year for many reasons. I've talked so many times about the amazing quality in this palette. The mattes in here are very blendable, very pigmented. They're just so easy to use. And then the shimmers in here are some of the best in my entire collection. Another one of the reasons that I've really been loving on this year is the fact that it has so many amazing colors in here, so many amazing color combinations, that it's really just inspired me to step out of my box and play with something different. So with this palette, I've been inspired to create so many amazing looks with it, and I'm just really in love with this palette. I'm glad that they made it permanent, and yeah, my number one favorite palette in my entire collection, if I would have to pick one, would be this Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette, and it is my favorite product of 2017. So I tried to use as many of the products as possible that I'm talking about in this video on my face today. So this product is actually the highlighter I'm wearing on my face today. It is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Nicole Guerriero Glow Kit, and as you can see, it's like blush pink, which matches my whole love of blush pink, my entire big millennial pink aesthetic. This palette is amazing. These are the colors in here. As you can see, it's more geared towards like pink tones and warm tones, so I really like that, obviously. I just find these to be very versatile and very blinding. They are a glittery highlight, so if that's not something you really like, I guess stay away from the Anastasia Glow Kits, because that's pretty much the formula in all of them. That being said though, the effect that it gives is just glowing, blinding, absolutely stunning. It's just one of my favorite releases, one of my favorite purchases of the entire year, and yeah, it makes me really want to try out some more Anastasia Glow Kits. So Nicole Guerriero's Glow Kit, she did a great job, and I absolutely love it. Next, I want to give it up for one of my favorite new foundations of the year and one of my favorite beauty releases, like, of all time. The Fenty Beauty release was one of the most successful launches of 2017, and this foundation is one of my favorite things from the brand. That being said though, I do love like a lot of the things from the brand, so anyways, this foundation, so good. It's like a medium to full coverage foundation. It's very matte, but it's a nice thin texture, so it doesn't feel super heavy on the skin and doesn't look cakey at all. I will put this on at like 5 o'clock, go to classes, come home around like 4, looks amazing still. I also love mixing this with other foundations. It's just a really amazing formula. It's also $34, I believe, so not as expensive as typical like high-end luxury foundation brands. 40 shades, so inclusive, just sets the right tone for beauty brands and just sets a good example. So I hope that other beauty brands will follow in Rihanna's footsteps and come out with more inclusive shade lines. Overall, I love the formula of this product, I love Fenty Beauty as a brand, and I just love everything that she's done this year, so this is one of my biggest hits. My next favorite is actually the ColourPop Pressed Powder Shadows. So I actually have 4 of the Pressed Powder Shadow palettes here, and I actually ordered the new Kathleen Lights one that's coming soon. Anyways, I have really been loving these shadows this year. I have the Yes Please palette, so as you can see, nice warm tones. I have the My Little Pony palette. I haven't really gotten to play around with this one as much, but I do love the colors in here. I have the Femme Rose. I just love the design of this one, and then the colors in here, absolutely stunning. And then I also have the All I See Is Magic Holiday palette. I'm actually wearing this one on my eyes today. Really, really beautiful. The formula of these is so amazing. I've just been loving the ColourPop Pressed Powder Shadows this year. The mattes are a little bit powdery, but that doesn't bother me because they're very pigmented and very blendable. I find that they're amazing quality. And then the shimmers are absolutely stunning. I think they perform very well. Just amazing, affordable eyeshadow palettes, and I think ColourPop is really just putting out some amazing products this year. So overall, I've just been loving these palettes and the single shadows as well. Okay, so my favorite pair of lashes the entire year. If you guys follow my Instagram, you know, because I've been pretty much wearing these lashes in every single look. These are the Cake Face Beauty Kim Tai Lion-Hearted Lashes. And they're coming out with a new collab next year. I think it's called the Audacious Lashes, and I cannot wait to see what those lashes look like and pick them up. But these ones have been my absolute favorite lashes in my entire collection. They're very voluminous, just super lush and long and fluffy and soft. They're just so beautiful. They can look very fierce and dramatic, but they can also look nice and soft and just elegant. I just think these are the best lashes of all time. The packaging is absolutely stunning. I think Kim Tai did an amazing job. And she has such a big heart. I just wanted to support her, and I think these are just a really amazing pair of lashes. So these have been my favorite of the year. Alright, so next up I actually wanted to mention a brush that has just taken my heart. And it is the e.l.f. Triangular Buffing Foundation Brush. I dropped it. Wow. Okay. The e.l.f. Triangular Buffing Foundation Brush again. It's so good. This is so good. It's only $6 or $8. I'm not quite sure. I think it's $6. Obviously, e.l.f. is a very affordable brand, and this is the best foundation brush I've ever tried in my life. Before I used this brush, I wasn't super well versed in using foundation brushes. I usually just use a sponge. But one day I just decided to give this one a shot, and oh my gosh, I love applying my foundation with a brush, and this is so, so good. It's densely packed bristles. It's pretty short as well, and then it's a triangular shape. So this is very similar to the Sigma 3D HD foundation brushes. This doesn't make my foundation streaky, it just provides amazing full coverage application. One of my biggest problems with using a sponge was that on my cheeks and on my nose, you could still see a little bit of redness peeking through, but with this one, you get full coverage, you don't see any color peeking through. But with this brush, you get full coverage, it just amazing. It's such a good brush. I definitely recommend this one. It's very inexpensive. Go pick it up right now. Next up, pretty much the only concealer that I've been using this year, Tarte Shape Tape. This is so good. I don't think any concealer will ever hold a candle to this concealer because this is pretty much everything I could ever ask for. Very full coverage but doesn't feel heavy under the eyes, never creases, just always looks amazing, stays on forever. I have the shade Light Sand and Light. Light Sand is more of my skin tone because I have more yellow undertones, but trying to use this one up in my Project Pan. Anyways, these are just the best concealer of all time. I love these, and I know this was released in 2016 and it was in pretty much everyone's 2016 favorites, but I started using them in 2017 and it's just been my favorite concealer of the entire year. You get a ridiculous amount of product in here and it's $27 I believe. So amazing concealer, definitely my favorite of the year. So I think this is the first lip product I've mentioned in this video, but the ColourPop Ultra Satin Lips have been one of my favorite lip products of the entire year. This year I was kind of veering away from matte liquid lipsticks. I just found them to be super drying and I wasn't really down for just like dealing with them. I'd rather just have a more comfortable formula at the expense of having a super matte lip. I just kind of find that matte lips just don't look good on me anymore and I don't want to deal with that anymore, so ColourPop's Ultra Satin Lips have been a lifesaver. These kind of dry down to a semi-matte finish, so not super, super dry. These are just very pigmented. They have so many amazing colors and I've just been loving these. I have a ton, but I wanted to share with you guys my 3 favorite shades. Frickin' Frack, which I've been wearing all the time. It's like a nice Rome warm terracotta rosy shade, I guess. Virginia, which is what I'm wearing on my lips right now. It's a beautiful berry bright tone shade, so great for summer, but also obviously for fall because it's a berry shade. Love it. And then finally, one of my go-to nudes. This is the I Love Sarahi X ColourPop Ultra Satin Lip in the shade 951. This is just a nice kind of mid-toned neutral nude. Just so versatile, beautiful on the lips. Each lipstick is only $6, I think, so very inexpensive and love these. Alright, so I actually have discovered my ride or die favorite foundation of the entire year, and I think I started using these in July, but HOURGLASS Vanish Stick Foundations, my favorite foundation of all time, and I just started using them this year, so these have been my favorite foundation of the entire year. They are a full coverage foundation, and I find that they apply best with a brush, although you can use a sponge if you want to. Either way, they have the most beautiful, like, velvety finish. It just looks so flawless on the skin. My experience with stick foundations hasn't been all that positive, so these are the first ones that I've actually really fallen in love with. They don't look cakey on the skin, they don't sit on top of the skin, they just meld in with your skin and just look amazing. So I absolutely love these. They are pretty expensive as far as foundation goes, $48 per stick. However, I just think it's absolutely worth it. They're amazing and my favorite foundation of all time. So NARS went non-cruelty free this year, which broke my heart, and their soft velvet powder was my favorite. So everyone was saying, Laura Mercier, do Laura Mercier, and I've never tried their powder, so I started trying it out this year and I have fallen in love. I see why everyone loves this powder. It's just so good. No powder that I've ever put on my face controls oil like this one. I just look amazing. This just keeps my makeup on so long, just sets everything in place, makes everything look flawless. I just love the effect this gives on the skin. Everything looks velvety smooth and the pores are blurred out. Just the best powder of all time. Definitely recommend this one if you haven't tried it out. It is my favorite powder of 2017 and just one of the best products I've tried this year. These next products I wanted to talk about together because I think one of them is a dupe for the other one. So Stila Magnificent Metals and the ColourPop Supernova Shadows both hold such special place in my heart and I love them both. The Stila ones are pretty much the OG. They're just very glittery, so amazing for Instagram makeup, just beautiful. They're just like the easiest glitters to work with ever. But of course, if you're not wanting to spend $24 for glitter, which is crazy, I think they should definitely decrease the price to like $18. I think that's more reasonable. Anyways, the ColourPop Supernova shadows, which are $7 each, are a great dupe. I have 4 of the shades here. I'm wearing the shade Moonlit on my eyes today. It's a beautiful like purple iridescent glitter here. But yeah, these are absolutely stunning. You get the same effect. I think they should definitely come out with more colors of these because I would definitely pick those up in a heartbeat. But yeah, really been loving these and the Stila glitters. If you're wanting a good dupe for those, go for these. Okay, so yet another eyeshadow palette. I feel like I'm talking about a lot of eyeshadows and foundations in this video, so sorry, but that's pretty much what I've been trying out this year and I love them all. It is very reflective, so I'm sorry if I'm blinding you with the packaging, but this is the Becca Après Ski Glow palette, and this just came out for the holiday season. First of all, the packaging, absolutely stunning. Not very YouTube friendly because it's a mirrored packaging, so very blinding, but I love like the snow icicle detail around the sides. Same reflective packaging, but you also get a big mirror, so it's amazing for travel. I've just been loving the formula of these. These are probably some of the best shimmers I have in my entire collection. This is the first Becca eyeshadow palette I've ever tried out, and you guys know that I love, love, love the Becca highlighters. These are actually Becca eyeshadows formulated, inspired by the Becca Simmering Skin Perfectors. Very soft, you can get them to be very foiled, or also just very like elegant and glittery on the lids. These are just very easy to use, the shadows are super soft, and they're so beautiful. It is pretty expensive, $49 I think, and it's very neutral, so maybe not necessarily the thing that everyone would want to splurge on, but I've really been loving this palette, obviously because it's in this video, and yeah, love this one. It is like so hot, I think it's 80 something degrees right now, and it's December in California, so yeah, really fun. Anyways, the next favorite, Too Faced Just Peachy Mattes palette. Too Faced has kind of been hit or miss with their releases this year, but I feel like the Peach collection was one of the best hits of the year. And I also think they just did such an amazing job with this palette. The mattes in here are super blendable, very pigmented, they're just so easy to use, and I think these colors in here really just embody that kind of warm-toned look that we're all going for. And I think the shadows in here are really just kind of what everyone wanted the Sweet Peach palette to be. I think a lot of beautiful warm-tone berry tones and peaches, and this year I've kind of found myself veering away from the orange warm tones and more towards the berries. You've got very sturdy packaging and a big mirror, so good for travel. So absolutely been loving this palette, definitely recommend this one. One of my favorites of 2017. Okay, so why did I just sound like Romy? Okay. So I've really been loving the ColourPop Lippy Sticks this year. These are more of a traditional lipstick formula, which I've kind of been loving this year. I love the size of these. The applicator is very precise and small, so you can get nice, fine, precise lines, which I find is a little bit more difficult if you're working with a traditional lipstick over a liquid lipstick. Again, I have so many of these. These are, I think, $5 each, so I have a full collection of them, but these are 2 of my favorite shades. I have the shade Ziggy, which is a matte X, and then Taurus, which is matte. Taurus is from Kathleen Lights, so really love this one. Yeah, I've just been reaching for these a lot. I think they're very easy to work with, very nice formula, matte, pigmented, stays on for a long time. Really love these. So this has been probably my favorite product to remove my makeup throughout the year. Tatcha's Pure One Step Camellia Cleansing Oil. So first of all, Tatcha is a Japanese skincare brand. One of the only cruelty-free skincare brands you can find at Sephora, so that's really cool. I am half Japanese, so I love supporting Japanese companies, and this is like one of my favorite products of all time, and definitely my favorite makeup remover. Using an oil on your face kind of seems scary at first, but this is so light, it just washes all the makeup off your skin. Literally, the makeup will melt off your face, and you'll just be left with really soft, moisturized skin, but not oily or greasy at all. I didn't really want to fall in love with this because it's so expensive. This is obviously very expensive, but skincare is something I'm a little bit more willing to invest in because, you know, your skin is very important. So taking care of it's very important, and this is my favorite makeup remover of all time. Definitely going to try more stuff from Tatcha in the new year, but been loving this one. It's one of my favorite from the line. Alright, so this next favorite is a highlighter. It is the Urban Decay Afterglow Highlighter in the shade Sin. I've heard so much good stuff about this highlighter, and it was one of the free gifts from Urban Decay's birthday collection this year, so I got it for free, and it is a full size, so I was really excited about that. The color is like a nice pearly champagne shade, so very versatile and easy to wear. It looks good with every makeup look ever, and it's just so blinding. It's not super glittery on the skin either, so it's not going to emphasize texture. It just looks very glowy and beautiful on the skin. So I haven't bought a lot of stuff from Urban Decay this year. This has been one of the only things I've really enjoyed this year besides the Naked Heat palette, so been loving this highlighter. I'm definitely considering picking up that new Afterglow highlighting palette, which has 4 of these highlighters in there. Really love this formula, just a beautiful highlight in general, and yeah. Next, I want to talk about one of my favorite new foundations, and this has been receiving so much hype on YouTube, but I think it's definitely worth it. This is the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Foundation, and this is the shade Shortbread. This year, I tried out Huda Beauty for the first time, and this foundation sold out pretty much immediately. By the time I got to the VIB sale, it was gone. So one day I was in Sephora's store, and I just happened to see that they had a few shades of this in their display, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need it. So I wasn't sure if this shade was going to match me. It is 200B Shortbread. It's like a very fair foundation, but it's also more of a neutral beige undertone, so that's not really my undertone. I'm more of a warm-toned yellow undertone, so I was a little bit nervous about this one, but it does match my skin very well. This is absolutely beautiful. It applies amazingly with a foundation brush and a sponge, so whichever one you're more comfortable with using, you'll definitely get a good result out of this foundation. This really just looks like a filter on the skin. It looks so amazing. I've gotten so many compliments wearing this one. The first day that I tried this out, I was in Vegas and I went to lunch, and the waitress and two ladies actually came over to the table and they're like, your skin looks amazing. And I was like, oh, okay. So if that's not indicative of how good this foundation is, I don't know what is. It does wear really well. I like to set it with a light layer of the Laura Mercier powder, and it just looks so amazing on the skin. So definitely been loving on this foundation, and it's worth the hype. So 2017 has put out some amazing foundations, but this has been one of my favorites of the year. So here is yet another favorite from Huda Beauty, and it has made its way into my top 5 favorite eyeshadow palettes. Huda Beauty's Desert Dust palette. This is so beautiful. The packaging is amazing. I did do a dedicated video on this one. I did a Get Ready With Me, I think, and a review. So if you're wanting to see that, I will link it in the cards above here. Beyond the packaging, the shadows in here. Oh, the colors, I can't. I've been able to create some amazing, beautiful looks with this palette. I've just loved every single look I've created, and it's just such a good palette. The mattes in here, very blendable, very pigmented, just easy to work with in general. And then the shimmers in here, amazing. I love the duochrome shades, Twilight and Retrograde. And then the pressed glitter here, some people have been having trouble with this one. I love it. It's one of the easiest glitters I've ever used in my life. I'm not normally a fan of like pressed glitters or loose glitters. I just prefer like liquid ones like the Stila. This one, I just do my eyes first, use this glitter, and I won't have any problems. The one thing I do have to say about this one is it's very fragile. These duochrome shades here and the glitter are prone to breaking, so I do not travel with this one. I would be so devastated if this were to break on me, but I have just been loving this palette. It's so beautiful. Very expensive. One of the most expensive eyeshadow palettes I bought this year. It's $65, but in my opinion, it's definitely worth it. It's probably my number 3 favorite palette in my entire collection, so love this one so much. So the Jaclyn Hill Morphe one was my favorite palette of the year. Huda Beauty was number 3, so you're probably wondering, what was number 2, Julia? Modern Renaissance. I know this was released in 2016. I got this in, I want to say April. My grandma bought this for me, so it's very special to me, obviously. I love my grandma so much. But Warm Tone Lover's Dream, I mean, the shades in here are absolutely stunning. You do get a nice array of neutrals here, so these ones here, and then the Cypress Umber shade, beautiful. This is probably the most reliable palette. I always reach for this one when I just really want to have perfect eyeshadow for the day, because I know the quality of this palette, I know how it performs, and it's just consistently amazing. These are very blendable, very pigmented. You do get a little bit of powder kick-up, but that's fine because they're very soft. And you do get a little bit of powder kick-up because they are very soft shadows, but that's just, they're very easy to work with, and they blend out like a dream. The shimmers in here are beautiful. They're very soft, not super glittery at all. And overall, I just think it's one of the best palettes to ever be created. So, Anastasia Modern Renaissance, I know this was released a year ago, but it's been a year and I'm still loving this one. Definitely one of my favorites of the entire year, and probably one of the best palettes ever. So another liquid lipstick formula that I've been loving has been the Ofra liquid lipsticks. I tried these out this year. These are not drying at all. They're very pigmented. They just look so amazing on the lips. And I find that when I wear these, they just look healthy on the lips. I know that Ofra is now in Ulta, so it's a lot easier to get your hands on. And this is the only shade of their lipsticks that I actually have right now because I had to get rid of a nude shade. It was really light on me and it just looked weird. So planning on expanding my collection of Ofra liquid lipsticks in the new year. But besides that, this is just so good. But this is one of the best formulas and I definitely recommend it. So yet another skincare product that I've really been loving. This is my favorite moisturizer. Tarte came out with the Drink of H2O Hydrating Boost Moisturizer. It's like a water balm moisturizer, as you can see, very clear, translucent. I do have the full size, but this is a little mini one. This is just so good. I've really been loving like water-based moisturizers instead of cream ones. I think it's like a lot less oily on the skin. This does dry down to a nice tacky finish, so if you're wanting a good hydrating primer, you could use this as a hydrating primer. This has just been a really standout skincare product and makeup product in general. Love Tarte, and their skincare line is amazing. This foundation, as far as I'm concerned, is the best one from the drugstore. e.l.f. Flawless Finish Foundation. This is only $6, and it's the best foundation I've ever tried from the drugstore. I am in the shade Porcelain. I will admit their shade range is not as extensive as I'd like it to be. They do go up to a pretty dark shade, but I find that the undertones are pretty lacking. Thankfully though, this does match me to a good extent. This just has the most flawless finish, as the name would imply. I do prefer to apply it with this foundation brush, and I think it applies better with a brush than it does with a sponge. It is a medium coverage foundation, but you can build it up to full coverage depending on what you want on your face that day. I can't really think of anything else to say other than the fact that the finish is beautiful. The coverage is beautiful. The formula stays on the skin for a long time, doesn't break up or anything, and yeah, it's just really good. The only negative I can think of to say is that it's only 0.68 fluid ounces, and the normal foundation would be like 1 fluid ounce. So it's a little bit under, but it's only $6, so it doesn't really matter. It's more of like a moussey formula, whereas other ones are more of a liquidy formula, so you're gonna use a little bit less. Overall, I've just been loving this foundation so much, and now I'm going to show you guys my last favorite of the year. My last favorite of the year is the Fenty Beauty Stunna Lip Paint. And I have been stunned by how good this lip paint is. The applicator is very easy to use. It is like a paint, so you just paint it on your lips. You get nice, precise lines. It'll dry down. It's very matte, but it doesn't feel like chalky or dry or anything like that on the lips. You just, oh, this is so good. This is just so pigmented. It looks amazing on the lips. It's my favorite red lipstick in my entire collection. And oh yeah, it lasts forever. Like, it's the longest lasting lipstick I've ever tried in my life. So this is my favorite liquid lipstick formula of all time. I cannot wait until she comes out with more colors, because I'm going to be picking those up stat. This is so amazing. I love Fenty Beauty, and this lipstick, bomb. So that concludes my favorite products of 2017, and I wanted to just cap off this video with talking about my favorite makeup looks that I've done this year. I'm sure I've talked about this before, but I've started posting my makeup looks on my Instagram, something that took a lot of courage to start doing because I wasn't really sure if I wanted to, but now that I have started, I've really been loving it. You guys have shown me so much support on my Instagram and the makeup looks I create, so I've really been proud of some of these looks this year, and I wanted to include some of my favorites in this video. So first one, this matte, like blended cut crease simplicity look. It took a long time to create this look, honestly. It looks very simple, but that took forever. And I just spent so much time on this makeup look. I really wanted my makeup look to come out amazing that day. And I'm so happy that I put the work in because it really did come out just the way I wanted it to. This Desert Dusk Rose look that I did, it was using the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette, and I am so in love with this look. I got so many compliments that day. Everyone loved the glitter on my eyes, and I think it was just such a beautiful look. So really proud of that one as well. My evergreen and gold look using the Anastasia Prism palette and a little bit of Cell Culture as well. I love experimenting with color, and I've really stepped on my box this year, so I wanted to experiment with the greens in that palette, and it came out just the way I wanted it to. Got a lot of good feedback on that look, and I was just really proud of it. So yeah, love that look so much. My starry eye look, I did this right before Halloween, and it was using the Anastasia Prism palette. I used the shade Osiris, which is the blue in that palette, and I literally painted on stars using the Stila Magnificent Metals glitter, and ugh, I love that look so much. It was very, very extra and took me like 2 hours. It was so extra, and I love creating art on my eyes, so that was really fun. This roses look, it was a rose cut crease where I literally painted roses into my crease. I used liquid lipstick to paint the roses on, and then I used the Anastasia Subculture, the green in there, to make the leaves. That took also forever, but I got so many compliments that day, and it was so extra, but I love it. This look was inspired by @AshGotCakes on Instagram, and she's also on YouTube. I don't remember her channel name, but I will post her down below. She did this amazing, beautiful cut crease look with flowers in her crease, so I really wanted to recreate that, and I just put my own spin on it. It's a really fun look, very extra, but that's me. So last favorite was the flower child look that I did with my Anastasia Modern Renaissance. I actually went to class like this with the flower crown on my hair, the look on my eyes. It was super, super extra. Just very soft, very floral, very spring, but I did this in like the dead of fall. It was October, so kind of weird, but I love that look so much. It just really turned out amazing. Just the way I wanted it to. Okay, so those were my favorite makeup looks and my favorite makeup products of 2017. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It took forever to film. It's been like what? Oh my gosh, I've been filming for 2 hours. Wow. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up for me. Subscribe down below. Yeah, I hope you guys had a really amazing year. I hope you have an amazing new year. And I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you made it to the very end, I love you.